Hello, this is the Shawn 1113 podcast show. I am your host, Shawn 1113. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast for the last 5 years and now entering its sixth year. And with that, all you got to do is star and please share this video as well. And with that, there's a lot of news going on. Now, I'm still going to take a break from the podcast, from the podcast. So that's still going. But there's some big news, and there's too much going on, even in June. Wow! First and foremost, I want to say Happy Father's Day to all the fathers, brothers, uncles, stepfathers, step grandfathers, foster fathers, uncles out there, and anybody that I miss. I apologize, but Happy Father's Day in advance to each and every one of you, as June 15th is Father's Day. And with that, again, please share and rate this podcast. Now, preferably 5 stars as well. Now, the big bullshit news. Our long national bullshit nightmare is over. Excuse my language. Aaron Rodgers is now Pittsburgh Steelers. Simple as that. It's going to make interesting. It's going to be very interesting. The AFC is already one of the toughest divisions in football, if you don't count Cleveland. But it's true. I was thinking the AFC West is the toughest division. Give me 1 second. Hold on. Well, sorry about that. I had to get something for 1 second. Anyway, it's going to make a very back to the Aaron Rodgers side. Very interesting that it's not. It makes the AFC even more tougher than it already is, and two, it makes the AFC North tougher because you got Baltimore and Cincinnati. I'm not even counting Cleveland this year. My projection now is nine. Is now maybe 10-7 if everything goes right, and it might be 8-9 if everything goes wrong. Maybe 7-10. I don't know. So we'll see what Aaron Rodgers does in Pittsburgh. Meanwhile, everything else, the NBA finals have come, and game one was very interesting finish against Indiana beat Oklahoma City and getting a split because Oklahoma City won game two, and I can tell you they look like Oklahoma City. Okay, if they keep playing like that, they might win it. I mean, I'm favoring Indiana, but let's see what happens when they go to Indianapolis for three as of this recording. So, NHL Stanley Cup Finals. I would like to. I mean, I'm liking this rematch. Edmonton against Florida. This is a back and forth game, 2 overtime game. Game two was a good one. Edmonton winning the other overtime, game one in Edmonton. We'll see what happens as they go two for in Florida, in Sunrise, Florida to be exact. So um, I'm loving this. I'm loving this rematch. I really do. Rematches can go one or two ways in professional sports. It can go average to flat. As simple as that. Now, on to Simone Biles. A couple of years ago, I made a podcast about Simone Biles quitting on the U.S. national team during the Tokyo Olympics. If or Paris, I don't know. But man, she got a lot of nerve saying this about Riley Gaines, and yet her own her own transgressions, she got slammed for all the transgressions she's done. What a change! What a change of opinion. Because a couple of years ago, a lot of people would have said it and got away with it. Now you can't get away with it. You know, the quote unquote virtual signaling and stuff. You can't get away with it a lot. Simone's Biles, the example of that recently is a perfect example. Angel Reese, ugh. And again, I'm not a WNBA in at the least. But when you're missing your professional, hold on one second. Sorry about that, folks. We've had some difficulties of my computer, my new computer actually. So bear with me on that. I don't know what's going on with this. So bear with me. We might see some pauses and stuff just and stuff. So my apologies for that. But Simone Biles, well, Angel Reese is basically more and more of an embarrassment to women. Honest with you, if you can't even make layers as a professional player, you don't belong anywhere. I mean, I can. I'm not the biggest layup person. I don't even play. I don't play a lot of sports, but you can make layups. That's the most basic one, other than shooting a basketball. Simple as that. Now, the College World Series. This is something new I've been doing recently. Been watching college baseball, the Super Regionals, College World Series. Um, Murray State and Duke are going to play as of this recording. Um, it's a good thing for me to have new sports and all that stuff. Like I said, I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it, and basically a highlights of that. I've really enjoyed it. College baseball. Right now, it's this recording Arizona, Oregon State, LSU, Arkansas, Louisville, UCLA, and Coastal Carolina. Like I said, Murray State and Duke have to play their third game in the College World Series on June 9th. And with that, let's transition actually to the U.S. Open Golf Championship, which I almost forgot, nearly forgot about that. So, man, and I think it's a very wide open U.S. Open this year at Oakmont. I really do. The favorite is going to be Scotty Scheffler. We almost begin to start saying, almost in a very different way, Scotty Scheffler versus the field, perhaps. I don't know, but Chichambo, Ryan Fox, Ben Griffin. There's a whole bunch of players right there. I mean, Justin Rose, Matt Fitzpatrick, um, Tommy Fleetwood, and there might be a new person in it. Nick Taylor. There might be a new person in that mix too. It's going to be a wide. Scheffler's going to be the favorite, but it's going to be a very Bryson Chichambo, the defending champion. But it's going to be a very interesting U.S. Open and a very wide open U.S. Open as well. Because in the Tiger Woods era, there was nobody else but Tiger Woods. This is the era of Scotty Scheffler now, and I can tell you this much: it's more wide open than that. So that's my opinion about that. And with that, that is the Shawn Lemon 13 podcast show, June 9th, 2025. Now entering its sixth year of its existence. And I'm gonna say again, thank you so much for the 5 years listening to this podcast, and thank you for continuing to listen to the Shawn Lemon 13 podcast show. And with that, always never forget, please stay encouraged no matter what, and live your life as normal as possible in an abnormal world. God bless you.